Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Peakabutter25 here, and today I have a video. It's a bit overdue, honestly. I said I was gonna get another review up on Monday if you listened to my last video or two. I kind of slept in a bit too late that day. I couldn't fall asleep until 2 a.m., so I was very hyped about going to meet Coast Studios yesterday. I'll maybe get something on YouTube for that, probably not. Just all that, I like this guy. So I got a video up today. I finally managed to get time in a busy weekend. I was at Great America yesterday, obviously with Coaster Studios. I'm going to Great America tomorrow for Bring a Friend for Free. Bringing some of my mother's friends that are big coaster addicts. So one of them hasn't been there in over 10 years, so I got to show them everything new. But other than that, today I'm going to be doing another review. I have this one waiting in limbo for about a month now, maybe over a month. It is V2 Vertical Velocity, one of 4 Intamin impulse coasters, if I remember correctly, in the United States, being this, the other Vertical Velocity in Discovery Kingdom, Wicked Twister, and Possessed. Comment below if there's any other impulse coasters. I can't think of any. So yeah, V2 review. This is personally my favorite impulse coaster, and we'll see how it stacks up. Drop. Well, this is kind of a bizarre category here, because this thing features 4 drops. Technically 5, but the 5th one goes straight into the brakes, so it's not really a drop. And doesn't really have a traditional drop. We're going up a chain lift, and it's just one big drop right at the end of the lift hill. The drops have been coming down from the towers, and like I said, there's 4 of them. The drop from the spiral tower is not that good. I mean, you're kind of twisting backwards the way it came from, but it's easy to hit. It's easy to kind of jerk your head into the restraint coming down. I think to the right side of it, if I remember correctly. But the drop coming back down the vertical tower is great. The hang time is awesome, especially in the back. I personally prefer this thing back row. I honestly don't really know how to rate this because this is such a bizarre category. I'd say overall the hang time kind of balances out the minor headbanging, and I'd give it a 6 for drops. So there's 4 of them. The hang time on the second one is the first vertical tower drop is pretty ridiculous. The second vertical tower drop is all right. It's not as good as the first one. If the holding brake was still there, this thing would easily be a 7 or an 8. But rest in peace, holding brake, 2001 or 2002 to 2008. Yeah. Intensity. This is probably the most intense coaster in the park. Everything about it's a rush. Launch, hang time, forces, spirals. Just a rush. I always come off of this with just a heightened adrenaline. But what else would you expect from an Intamin? I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, just that view, staring perilously into the skies on a spiral tower. That's gonna definitely cause that's gonna cause a wave of intensity going through you. Duration. V2 lasts approximately 40 to 45 seconds from the moment it launches to the part where it hits the brakes and the 5th backwards drop, or the 3rd spiral drop. It's one of the shortest rides in the park, but I think Demon, Batman, Goliath, and Superman X-Flight maybe even are all shorter. So it's 40 to 45 seconds on this. And it's not that different because I think this thing needs to run at a very specific momentum, or else there's like security brakes on it and they'll trigger them. It's kind of a short duration. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 on duration for lasting just about 40 to 45 seconds. Because I do it by like values of 10. But like 65 seconds gets a 7. I don't know. It's a weird system. Restraints. V2 features over-the-shoulder restraints, as you would expect. If this thing had lap bars, you'd probably fold in on yourself on the vertical spiral, or the vertical tower, and secures the ride on a seatbelt to the side instead of in your lap or your groin area. So that's kind of unique. It's on the outside of the coaster or train. They're kind of hard restraints, but they're not as bulky as Batman's or Demon's, which they're pretty bulky. They're a bit thinner than that, and they're all right. I mean, they don't really cause too much headbanging, but still. It's over-the-shoulder restraints. If they were Intamin softer restraints, this could easily get a 7 or an 8. Probably an 8. But we're stuck with these somewhat moderately thin Intamin hard restraints. They're not bad, though. They're pretty good for over-the-shoulder restraints, and they don't really do much to hurt you during this. Launch. There are multiple launches in V2, but you can really feel the first one, because, you're going from 0 to 60, like, real quick. And then the second launch, you can feel yourself picking up more speed. But then the rest of the launches after that, they kind of, you don't really feel them that much. And can't really feel them. They kind of launch you back and forward up the towers. The forward launches always propel you up the spiral tower. The backwards launches always propel you up the vertical tower. There's 2 of each launch. Actually, there's 3 forward launches. Because it goes forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, and then it hits the brakes. And I think the forward, I'm pretty sure for brakes for number 4 and 5, it gets slower. But I'm not really fluent in the arts of this Intamin impulse coaster respective launch things. All I know is I can really feel the first one, and I can feel the second one in present. And it's a solid launch. And it makes it even more thrilling when the operators decide to be mean to you, play tricks on you, because they know you're captive on the ride. They just count down all sorts of things. They fake you out. They say 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, then launch you out, or 3, 2, launch you, and just it's kind of a rude thing to do, but it definitely increases your anticipation. It's just that suspense that kind of makes the ride a bit more unique, because when the operators play mind games with you. I don't really like it that much, though. I prefer the solid launch systems where you know you're going to go, like Top Thrill Dragster and Storm Runner. I always quote Storm Runner's launch code. Airtime. V2 is little airtime, but features some nice airtime on the vertical towers, or hang time, sorry. You're literally hanging with your stomach in your chest, facing a pond where Yankee Clipper resides, just hanging there perilously for a second or two. It's some of the best hang time in the park. If not, it'd be Goliath's 0G stall. That gives you like 2 seconds of straight hang time. But this is some of the best hang time on an inverted coaster. It's great. But it's only hang time. It's not what we're looking for, but it's close. So I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Smoothness. V2 is pretty smooth. I think it's about 15 years old or so. Maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 years old. It can vibrate along the track, and the spiral ascent can bang your head on the restraints, especially during the descent. The descent can bang your head, but only a little. It's overall smooth, but it's not as smooth as, say, like X-Flight, Superman, Batman. It's not as smooth as the B&Ms in the park, but it's fairly smooth. Theming. I pretty much see no identifiable theme on V2. I mean, the logo I could see being a representative of the straight tower and the spiral tower. V2 vertical velocity. I don't really see a name. I mean, if it is, it's kind of themed to going at a vertical angle at a really high speed. But I doubt it'd be vertical. I don't know if the vertical spike is vertical. It might be like 89 degrees just to play the tricks on you, but I don't know. I don't really see any theme on this. And especially since it's over a small pond or a lake, it's a weird mishmash. They just kind of threw this in here, say, hey, let's get an impulse coaster. And not really theme because they already had the trademark to vertical velocity. So yeah, it's not really good theme. And overall, we're going to get some good scores. Out of 8 categories, it receives a 43 out of 80, making an average score of 5 3/8 out of 10. And my score is much higher. It is a 7. V2 is a good coaster overall. It's one of the only ones out there. Nearest impulse coaster is Wicked Twister. And then, there's only like 2 to 3 others in the nation, and the world even. It's got solid stats. Some people might not call this a coaster. My brother personally believed this is not a coaster. It's just, oh yeah, Steel Venom. That's another impulse coaster. Forgot about that one. It can be kind of passed up for being a clone model, clones such as Steel Venom and Possessed. But if you're not on the impulse model, or if you haven't been on one, I highly recommend riding this if it's your first. And Wicked Twister is a bit different, but I'm pretty sure Steel Venom, this, and Possessed are all the same. Maybe slightly varying on the stats, but it's basically the same layout. One spiral tower and one vertical tower. So yeah, that's That's overall what I'm doing there. V2, it's a solid addition. It's the only launch coaster we got. I personally want to see a full circuit launch coaster, say like a full throttle-esque ride. Might need to tear something out for that, but still, I'd like to see that. Because, I mean, it's a good launch coaster, but I want to see something better. But yeah, overall, that's my thoughts on V2. Vertical velocity. It was down the last time I went, but I usually tend to get on this one always. I love to get on this one. It's always such a blast, and when the operators play mind games with you, it just makes it such a unique experience. I haven't seen that in any other Impulse. They didn't do that with Wicked Twister. Haven't seen any off rides on Steel Venom or Possessed that did that. If you guys have ridden them, tell me if they do that, because I'd like to hear that. But overall, that's my thoughts on V2. I hope you all have a great day. It's almost halfway through the summer already. I've got about a month and like a few days to go until school starts again, which means my schedule will start getting busy, and you might see less and less uploads, especially since I'm getting to that age where I might have to work to help my family. And also, I think in exactly 2 weeks, I will be departing on an airplane for Boston, which means I'll be going to New England in about a week and maybe a day or two change. Or 2 weeks and like 15 or 16 days. And I will be in Florida 1 month from today, if I remember correctly. And this may be the exact day we're going to Busch Gardens, Tampa, August 13th, but we haven't really planned out the solid details yet. It's still a lot of uncertainties. We have the car rented. We know where we're going. We just need to figure out days because, you know, we're spending multiple days in Charlotte, multiple days in Clearwater Beach, 30 minutes from Tampa. It's going to be a great time. I'll come back to you with lots of content, like reviews, probably doing a couple park battles, say, I don't know, Busch Gardens Tampa versus a smaller park, like a smaller Six Flags, like St. Louis or Tampa. New England might be going up against Great America. Carowinds might go up against Kings Island. It's going to be a great time. So I'll bring back lots of review content, some new park battles, and if you want to see something else from my channel, like any fan source content. If you want to see, I highly recommend you see my last video, my 50 subscriber celebration. I've reached 56 in about a week from uploading that, so I'm just going up. I mean, I feel like I'm really happy you guys are really enjoying my content, even if I stutter like this. But I'm kind of dragging this on for a bit too long. I've been in the slide for far too long. I'm just going to wrap it up here. I'm highly looking forward to my antics in the next month. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of the summer as well. Because, you know, the good times are almost coming to a close, even though I'm more of a winter guy myself, because I don't like the heat. The sweat literally evaporated off my forehead yesterday, because it was like 95 and humid in Gurnee. Ugh, that was not a pleasant day. So, okay, I'm dragging this on far too long. Hope you all guys have a great summer, great rest of the summer. Hope you all have good times for wrapping up any summer vacation you might have. And, as always, I wish you guys peace.